So I've always gotten a lot of questions about how I teach my horses to lay down, but I don't think I've ever talked about why I choose to teach this to a lot of the horses that come into my training program. So some of the more obvious reasons are obviously, it's a cool trick to have your horse be able to do. I've also had some riders with disabilities ask me to teach their horse to lay down so that mounting is a little bit more accessible to them. I found it really useful in times where I didn't have any mounting block or anything like that. I can just ask my horse to lay down and I can hop on. But one of the coolest reasons is it can actually teach horses to be able to roll in the arena or in the space that you're working. Now, a lot of horses do this naturally, but some don't. My own two horses were like this, and the mare that I'm going to use in this example was also like this. Rolling is a really powerful thing for a horse. For them to go down and roll, obviously, they have to be in a place where they feel safe. And it's also a really good way for them to be able to kind of self soothe and release some stress. So, for me, it's always really important that my horse feel comfortable rolling in the area that I work them in. When I first started working with this mare about a year and a half ago, no one had ever seen her roll in the arena. Obviously, she lays down in her stall. She was always covered in shavings, but she would never roll in the arena. And we have great footing, and we gave her lots of opportunity. And she was always sort of thinking about it, but she never would actually go down to roll. So, after a couple months of working to teach her to lay down, she finally gets it. She goes down on command. And what's really interesting is that since that day, every single time we now bring her into the arena and let her go, she immediately goes down to roll as the first thing, whereas she'd never done that before. Now I want to show you an example of how I can actually use this to help in our day-to-day training. So I've started to take her on these walks off the property just down the street, and this is still a pretty stressful experience for her. She doesn't have a lot of experience going out, so she's seeing a lot of new things that are triggering a little bit of stress. Here we are looking at some ducks in the pond, which is something she'd never seen before. So that really kind of brought her heart rate up. So once I noticed that she's kind of getting to the point where she might be going over a threshold, we walk back to the property and I let her go in the arena so she can have a roll to kind of roll off some of that tension. And here she is walking with me just right after we came back into the arena, and you can see she's letting go of a lot of tension and she's using this rolling to be able to kind of self-soothe. And so we're going back to a relaxed state. So through me teaching her to lay down, I've now kind of discovered a new tool that I can use to de-escalate some situation and to help her find a little bit more relaxation.